with the poke that you already have from DRX is really nice. The one issue is that DRX have had issues with actually staying even in lane. I'm not even talking about ahead. I think that this composition, even if you're relatively even, is gained by Bao and Becca. They're already set up, but they need to be respectful. Again, DRX are the ones that need to play it slow, that need to avoid and engage.
Yeah, this is aggressive. Carrier has the Eclipse, though. He's soaking so much damage as Teddy gets exhausted in the end. Cuz gonna get that smite off for the extra heal. Does have flash, so he's not going to die. However, does still have to get out of the pit. As you can see, Canna still on the top side. No teleport. And that is going to mean that this Cloud Drake does go over to DRX.
And initially, you might look at it and say, the question of whether or not that play was actually worth it remains to be seen, because T1 got a couple of plates, Kana is a little bit less behind in this matchup now, and the Rift Herald will go to T1.
Yeah.
And you pointed out why it's so...
It's Faker starting to look more and more online, and now he's gifted Shelly into this mid lane. I think this is so cool, because they had an opportunity to shove it towards topside, but instead, oh no, Faker's not actually going to get any gold. So never mind, that is going to be a good use of their time as T1 do manage to crash the
side. And it will give up the Drake, which I think this is
teleport
still fine.
timing though, but no, not going to go for it. Just enough burst damage.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like it might be a bit much to try and contest that. You don't want to overreach her as T1 because you're still in a comfortable position. This composition doesn't need to get early leads. You just need to play the mid game well.
There's the flash out, but still the Terrify is going to land onto Faker. Teleport comes on in as Solka in a bit of trouble, has to flash out, but they still manage to pick up the kill.
Are able to not only get the kill, sure, Zoe gives up a flash, but as Faker has shown us, flash is optional on Zoe as long as there's a team fight around you.
Yes.
And you take Faker's flash, and a Victor without flash, especially at this...
This is a DRX that hasn't been winning lanes at all in round 2,
no.
right? Not until this game have we really seen them be able to actually...
T1, a Mountain Soul is atrocious, because if you look at their lineup, it's very backline dive oriented. Faker!
Yeah, in goes Pyoshik, wasting no time at all, but now they're looking to try and turn this one around. Solka finds the Paddle Star out of nowhere, Cuz still looking for it. Remember, this tower is not there. He has flash available. Solka not so lucky, but Cuz doesn't want to press that flash button because it gives one potentially to the Zoe. Cuz now as well looking for Becca, who comes on in, but not going to be able to find too much.
I think this game just means that no matter what happens as T1, you can sleep well at night knowing, okay, listen, we have the backup insurance, right? If all else fails, Faker on his trusty Victor will be able to carry the late game team fights. That is still the case, but the more gold you give over to Solka, the harder that is going to be.
Oh, Yoshik's in trouble here. Meganar comes out and the horse smashed against the wall. Take the boulder to the face. And Canna says, my clock tower is the last thing that resets every time you get out of combat.
Not it.
It's certainly not what you want. I think an Ocean Soul would have been worse
it would have
to
been.
fight into. However, this is still pretty bad. As DRX do get position around this Drake, but now T1 want to fight for it.
Oh, Canna.
Oh, look at that Naba. That is beautiful right now as T1 wanting to try and avoid this poke. So far, so good. And Canna just skirting around the edges. You can see all of these abilities flying through, but none of them finding any joy here as DRX going to lose priority in the mid lane, and that means that they lose priority in the river. T1 will deny the soul point, and this looks a little bit like a turning of the tide.
It's a for you to get engaged on or even thinner. The downside of that is, though, yes, that initial poke didn't hit, and I'm glad that they respect it. Then DRX's scaling, or lack of scaling rather, is kind of going to kick in.
Oh my,
no way.
Are we really doing this? Is this really happening? Okay, no, it's given away. DRX in the area. This is ballsy from T1, yeah. Down to about half health on the Baron. T1 desperately wanting to get DRX over to this area. They are going to get their wish. As DRX wanting to try and layer some of this poke. This Baron down to about 3,000 and T1, of course. They don't want to flip. As Pyoshi going to take a bit of damage from the Baron. Now it's the blue buff being delivered over to Faker. Slow comes in. There's the Zenith Blade as Teddy comes on over. Can they lock him down? The flash forward Teddy, so aggressive as the horse will fall. Carrier taking a fair bit of damage as the Chaos Storm getting hyper value in the backline. I don't know how T1 have done this or why they decided to go for that Baron, but it worked out beautifully.
And we said T1, they have a composition where you need to pull the trigger. Well, they pulled the trigger there. Flash forward from Faker, flash forward from Teddy, flash forward from Carrier. It's still risky to go for this Baron because there's so much poke available.
It's not a flip anymore, though, because there's no smite available on DRX's side. However, this is a poke composition. It wants to be in these sort of spots where they can just throw buttons at their opponent. That is going to buy DRX. So after all the dust settles, this actually is a win for DRX.
It's a win. You trade your jungler. Unfortunate, sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely have. Sort of their way. And with the fact that it's 4-2 in turrets, this lead is basically not real. As Kingen going to find a few friends. Pyosik also going to get rid of Teddy immediately after the Killer Instinct. A lot of CC, takes about 4 turret shots, and Teddy will be taken down. The Jace is going to be traded, but now Cuz running into the enemy base is precisely not what you want. So here's the mess up. It was within a minute, so they're not going to lose the Drake. However, still a bad...
The jungle. They didn't actually know where everyone on DRX was, so it was a really, really deep play. Didn't quite work out. T1, though, still going to contest his Baron.
Yep, 3 versus 4 right now. 6,000 health on the Baron. Canna wanting to get that Nabard charge. Remember, this is exactly what Faker wants. This is precisely the position a Victor is in love with, as Becca has to get out of there. Pyosik as well is almost dead. Kerry is going to be traded for as Canna gets to the Mega Gnar in the nick of time. But the Baron is still going to be warded off, and that was 100% because Faker existed. He almost has that Chaos Storm back available as back again as they force the reset. The Braum is still backing. The Pyosik's coming from base right now.
It's fast.
Bubbles still getting on in here. Yeah, remember, this is Kai'Sa. She does do a lot of damage to the Baron, but once again, T1 are not willing to flip, and they back away. But the gold lead is shrinking. More difficult for this Jace in the side lanes, who is building towards his armor penetration, so that's going to help him out in the matchup. Faker's got a Lich Bane, man. This guy is looking to fight extended trades. Oh no, Kingen caught out in his jungle. That is precisely not what you want.
He's just going to go the distance, Atlas, because it doesn't looking like there's any resolvement as of yet. It'll, well, we always need to be careful, but it's not a Jinx ult.
Yeah.
And it's just, it feels so good to get that initial play right, as they're still going to go for the Baron.
Yep, they thought the DRX had actually gone for a reset here as they see Kingen in the mid lane. All right, is the team fight. Big Gnar into the wall, but only really landing onto Becca, who goes golden as well, soaking so much of this damage. Chaos Storm is going to wear out as Teddy tries to be a hero 1v3 in the back line. Does he have the ability to keep himself alive? He flashes into the wall, will be taken down, and Bao will survive. And T1 are limping away from this battle. Faker now in trouble. Remember that flash from earlier? Yeah, you ain't getting out of that one. And Pyosik will take down the man in the mid lane, and T1 make a fumble that could cost them this Baron.
And they want to pull the trigger, understandably, but I feel like, as you said, they blew everything on Becca. It's just a Braum. He stalls with his shield, then he stalls with the stopwatch, and that means that DRX, after all, now going to be able to pick up the Baron here. And a poke composition with Baron at this point in the game is...
be a horse, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be a offensive or defensive horse, depending on what the moment calls for.
Yeah.
Or defensively or offensively, both are really fine. As long as your carry stay alive, you're happy.
Well, he's just going to dive in underneath this turret, able to sprint his way out as well, as you can see, buying a lot of space to get damage down. They have this siege minion doing a fair bit of work as well. And this turret not going to last very long whatsoever. There's the last few autos. This should be. Side bubble will connect. Base gate going to be there, but still going to get chunked. Solka does so much damage. And now Canna's going to dive forward. Gets the Gnar back on. Good wallop. And Bao disappears from the fight. Now running away is the Udyr. Not going to be so safe, but the bottom lane's dead. The Jace is dead, and Faker is at full health. Carrier able to get all of his CC down, and DRX will be lying on the floor. Carrier even presses his stopwatch. He will... No, I was about to say that he was going to go down. Eventually he does, but that is the ace for T1, and the teleports erupt on the top side of the map. Faker will return the favor, and the inhibitor wasn't even taken.
It's the OG T1 special. They look like you don't know what's happening, you don't know what's going on. They're
like an injured gazelle with a minigun hiding in their pocket.
One team fight is all they need, and it is Kana that finds the engage. And we didn't have the time because so much has been happening in the last couple of minutes of this game, but you saw when Bao went for that, and not actually gonna end. I got a little overexcited. How can you not? And I think if that was...
Yeah. Well, Super Minions are pushing down the top side. We've got a teleport in from Canna. This is very far away from this Baron that is being burst down extraordinarily quickly. Cuz wanted to get in there and make it a 50-50. Voidseeker goes wide. The Baron very low. Now Pyosik looking for the turn. Teddy avoids him completely. Devastating charge onto Faker. Teddy just going to play it defensively. I love it from this guy. His carrier will be taken down, but another flash Gnar from Canna, and he says no. We are winning game one. Faker goes golden. That's the ace. Quadra kill for Teddy, and that is going to be game.
In the very end, T1 finds the flank, finds the fight that they were looking for. The kite back on that final fight was beautiful because you saw DRX, they thought they had the opening. Kana was nowhere to be seen. He was charging up his Mega Bar on the Croaks, but still, they weren't fast enough. And that is the one downside of the DRX comp. Actually hard engaging without the setup isn't what you do very well.
Yeah, not sure how I feel about it.
The thing for T1 is that whether or not this is successful, in my opinion, hinges on two things. One, can Kana stay alive and do well versus not with no attention whatsoever? Oh, early angle from Cuz here.
Yeah, looking to try and go aggressive. Is going to wrap all the way around. You can see Bao and Becca not getting wind of this just yet as the crashdown comes through. Carrier with a really nice stun spear. Not going to connect, but Bao still taking a lot of damage. The empowered pounce and the ignite going to come in, but the answering kill is there for Bao.
So much harder to actually execute one on the play. Soka's ultimate.
Yeah, does actually find it here onto Faker. The beat drop's going to connect as well, and Faker, you can't Kingslayer enough out of that one. The watch out Eve is not going to be watched out of, and Pyosik will be able to grab that.
That is also it.
And look, Teddy has a lead because he stayed alive, right? Bao didn't get so lucky. His Carrier going to find the Attract Repel stump. There's the flash on in from Pyosik. It's a very sleepy Rel. And they're looking to try and take her down. No flash available. Becca secures it. Now 3-1 in favor.
I was wondering why he didn't go for... I thought he was holding it, because he went for the trade aggressively on Soka, and Soka was low. And I thought that he was...
Now he has ult.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yes, now he has ult.
That's
You saw nothing. We saw nothing.
Desire Rakan as well, because they provide you with a lot of threat. Faker.
Yeah, Becker is actually rotating in. The Encore just going to 100% miss. As Cuz looking for it one more time. Very dead is the Gnar, as Faker's just going to teleport out. Says goodbye to everyone. And now he's backing on the top side of the... He's got the Silsoul Summoners as well in the Ignite and Heal. If you don't understand that, that's a reference to a player from like Season 1. So shout outs to those of you who have been playing for an extraordinarily long time and watched a lot of Dyrus' stream.
So maybe we were just a bit premature. Gonna try and make it work now. However, Elder's gonna come up here.
Yep. Faker actually avoiding a lot of Solka's poke as well. Certainly works out. Canna just gonna try and absorb to the best of his ability. And does Flash. So. He's gonna lose the turret, but Teddy's still zoning Bao and Becker away from this one. And Faker now has a bit of a free lane. Solka went back to base as Bao once again soaking spears. And this is actually what can turn this, right?
Just the heal from Rakan and the synergy that those two have. Guardian is still up. This is not an easy dive for T1. Featherstorm clans all available.
Well, there's a Chains of Corruption as the Crashdown says goodbye to the Rakan. You said it's...
What?
Did that look difficult? It just didn't look that difficult to me, I'm not going to lie. As now Faker finds a Featherstorm. He'll be able to answer Bao, but not before he kills him. Throws that one out. The Feathers go a little bit further away, but he can't recall them anyway, so he doesn't even mind, as that's a big old Gnar into the wall. But you can see this. He does manage to grab the kill onto Canna, but now that's a very angry zombie that's looking for him, and Faker will pick this one up. I don't know how they do it, Chronicler, but T1, they found this mid-game skirmish. And let's see whether this can help them snowball.
They still don't have a gold lead. That's
able to build crit.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is pretty ridiculous when it comes to scaling, and DRX already have an advantage. So you're talking about not being out of the woods.
So does Faker, especially a pick like the Silas that benefits from finding the all-ins, finding the messy extended fights, not a straight up 5v5, but more fight one person, fight two more people, get an ultimate, and keep that going for as long as you can.
Oh, Becca pops! What the heck was that? Oh no, but the Encore is going to connect onto Teddy. He's going to be taken down. Solka answers very nicely, and now Kingen into position. Bowling ball blocked by a minion. Just a little bit
and then he Samira'd them at the Baron.
He literally found exactly what you asked him to do, which is 100% the analyst's dream, is Kingen. Only mini Gnar right now, as Cuz does have the smite, so that is going to be the the Infernal Drake locked down, and as we can see, it is a Cloud Soul. This game,
that's just not an option as...
Oh my goodness.
Damn,
Extraordinary amount of vision control here that Cuz has been able to put down. As Shirley just going to disco for a little bit. That was really cool. Are they going to be able to take it down? They do, denying the charge. And that means that that outer turret is going to remain
not allowed.
That's the thing that makes it so difficult, right? T1 just warps these sorts of situations even when the draft says no. They do now to when Varus first came out. It's just the most difficult ability to land.
It's not easy. You can get this one up. That's the one upside as T1. Yeah, like, it's Cloud Soul, who cares?
Yep.
We don't mind at all. Because if it's Ocean Soul, this is a do or die situation. You cannot give Ocean
100%
to a Seraphine comp if you're the Poe comp. In this case, yeah, you know, sure.
Well, Guardian going to help keep Bao safe. As T1 continuing to siege here, actually. Getting a fair bit of work done to this inner turret in the mid lane. Faker holding onto the top side as well, and you can see exactly why. I think this goes back to, and was very beautifully illustrated for me, because I don't think I needed to say anything.
Really appreciate you giving me that opportunity. Yeah, it's nice.
Serpent's Fang has been, I think, disabled in the LCK.
Be the case.
Prove me wrong. As the Baron, once again, going to be taking some damage here. He's taken a lot of abuse, to be perfectly honest, this series. As the train's going to come on forward. The engage from Becca comes out first now. As Canna is actually going to be able to disengage very effectively, but Carrier gets denied his all in. That's a huge encore as Becca going to go down first, but Kingen says, Canna, you can do it. I can do it too. Canna gets into the back line. Not quite able to get the work done. Double kill for Pyoshik now, as this is the DRX team fighting comp. Faker now looking for his ability to get in. Does manage to land it. Kingslayer goes down as well, but he's extraordinarily low and will be taken out by Kingen. Cuz and Canna now trying to do what they can. It's closer than it could have been, but Canna should be taken out. The damage threats are now gone for T1. And Solka is just a disgusting heal battery, able to keep everyone alive.
You see the value coming out there in the long fights, even though we see that DRX know how to play these little skirmishes, these mechanical moments at the end very well, as Kingen goes in and stays alive no matter what. Carrier.
Yeah, still looking for more as the encore is going to come down just onto Carrier. He has a stopwatch. We'll see whether he can keep himself alive. Doesn't, of course, have his flash available, and the Rel is just going to fall down. The train comes through again as Canna tries to split up this fight, but now Cuz is in trouble. Pyoshik just toying with him in his times.
Yeah, needs to try and heal up. Fortunately, there is the threat of a Mega Nod. There is still a front line, but can Cuz get to the Baron here?
Well, it's not quite 100, so I think I may have exaggerated there. As you can see, the Baron going down to about 2.5. We could just be flipping it here as DRX still on it. And that is going to be secured by Pyoshik. T1 now moving out of the area. Carrier, he's respawned, but there's no way.
Now has McKills available in case any of the teammates are in trouble. And DRX have now gotten to the point where, like, you see like a 2k gold lead, it's way more. This comp is super...
mention that, but I mean, Becker also has a few heals available as well.
Oh, Faker.
Now, Faker could look for a potential flank here. He's clearing out all of the vision, but no way T1 are fighting for this one. Just that Cloud Drake.
Close to over, just for the sheer power.
Yeah. I think if the nameplates were off, and you were looking at these drafts and the position in the game that they are, you'd say that there is no chance DRX lose.
Agreed.
But sometimes you just have to change how you think about the game. And T1 recently have certainly been trying to force that. Bowling ball connects onto Canna. Now T1 looking for that wraparound. DRX not going to give them their engage opportunity. And the slower DRX play this, the smarter they are, as Bao is going to be tagged by that Q. Spear just pops out! What the hell was that? They've started the Baron already. I mean, it's not the fastest of Barons necessarily, as Teddy does finally get on over. But yeah, like, how do you even get here?
But it might trade for Soul.
Well, let's see whether Canna can actually stop them from getting on in. This Baron is just dead. And now they have to try and get out of the area. The sleep comes through. There's the grand entrance as Canna tries to help him. Another spear going to find a victim as the Scion's taken down. Faker also dies very early, and now Teddy is by himself. He'll be taken out, and now T1 need to try and save the Barons. This is going to be Cloud Soul, but as someone with a fair bit of Cloud Soul experience, it's not exactly the highest of value for winning these games. But still, T1, they steal a Baron, they lose 3. And now DRX are looking to try and push this one down. Cuz's spears are terrifying, but if they avoid them, things should be all right.
Pick up this free turret, then move towards the Drake. I would rather they don't try and push it. Are they trying to look for an end or just for the inhibitor? Inhibitor would make sense, hopefully not greeding beyond that, as you should be able to pick up both. Now however, a possible teleport angle is available for T1.
See, he doesn't even have a Baron, but it is just a little bit too scary here as that's kind of getting snared up. Now Kingen looking for a little bit, but that tower already falls, and Sulker is getting chunked down. Faker, Kingslayering on top of Kingen here as the quickness is stolen away. He gets gnawed into the wall. Faker can still go golden, but he just doesn't. Oh no! Caught in the side lane, does manage to get the turret, but now T1 lose all of their pressure.
Outright. Instead, Faker will be up in about 14 seconds. A teleport flank isn't really available here.
When these piercing arrows hit, man, this is where it's dangerous. And Kingen says no, Teddy! Immediately, QSS flash to get himself out. The Encore is good, but Canna is tanking everything. Still, it is going to most likely be the end of his life. No, he gets himself the shield and just takes the train to safety. Turret not going to be so lucky, though, as the second inhibitor turret falls. And
there are a lot of Rabadons being finished now here, though, and T1, they're not giving up. There's no inhibitors down. They can contest this Baron.
Yeah, Cuz does insane damage. It's okay. That is the cleanse having to be used, or the QSS, sorry. Onto Teddy as Kingen only finds one with the ultimate, and now you've got Canna finding that backline. Teddy pretty much zoned away from this one, though, with Bao just fighting this one front to back. And Kingen is deciding on his way of taking this victory. Sulker gonna have to walk on back as Teddy finds a few autos, a few piercing arrows. But as you can see, DRX take control of the area. They take their pick, and they get all of the heals as well.
Look at those health, boss Atlas. You might think there's an Ocean Soul rather in this game. Absolutely not. There's just Seraphine coming into full force. Not ultimate available for Faker. This needs to be a hero play that I've ever seen otherwise. You're not going to make it here.
I've seen this from Faker before. We've all seen this from Faker before, but this is in a 4v5 with this level of compositional gap. And that is going to be the Baron secured for DRX. They're looking for it. Canna can turn into a train and try and get himself here, but then he won't have that ultimate for the ensuing fight. T1 need to desperately find some way of buying time. Kingen looking to deny. The Chains of Corruption do connect, and now the train is drifting forward, but misses, actually crashes a little bit too early there. But T1 do have control of this area. Can they steal away the Elder Drake? It just goes down, and Bao picks up the double. Faker's already dead. Becca steals the last one. DRX will win game 2. And I thought this was a pretty comfy way to get a 3-0 for T1. But DRX have done it. They found the draft. They found the final team fight and just
makes it through the draft. And DRX show why this team is in the playoffs in the first place. Yes, we did not see this DRX for the second round. Sure thing. But when it comes to playoffs, the only thing that matters is how you're playing right now. And right now,
still be able to manipulate the map, despite the fact that their macro hasn't been the best, into the point where T1 has to fight them. Because park yourself at a Baron and then a 5v5 is almost inevitable, right?
You need early Drakes as T1 you pick it for. Can still poke a little bit, has one more cookie that he has now used. And we also saw Pioche going for the E there, meaning that he might be looking for an early play on both sides. Generally, I think if you're decently sure.
Okay, Canna, I'm not sure he's going to be able to do this, and that is just a solo kill for Kingen on the top side, but almost. And Kingen's still going to deny, so Pioche spotted on this ward up here. There's more fighting on the bottom side. Goes Carrier, there's the rocket jump, immediate flash from Teddy as well, gets him out of the way. Becca could be in trouble. Teddy following up, needs one more auto, will be able to get it. Arcane Shift, we'll see whether it's going to be back off cooldown to try and make it a double. It's not going to be, and the Mystic Shot also not going to land. So, 1-1, T1's bottom lane.
Been super diligent about actually taking leads and translating them into more, translating them into objectives, and bot side prio will also mean that you can play players like this.
Yep, this is a 4v2. This is bad news bears. Bao going to try and rocket jump to reposition, but it is not really going to work. Cuz going to have to tank up that last turret shot, does so. Does still have to blow the flashes. Now Teddy is chasing after Becca. He'll land it. One last auto will get him there. There's the headbutt, and Carey is just going to say absolutely not, Mr. Cow Friend. That is going to be 2. They're like, nah, we got this, Herald. There ain't no way they're stealing this one away. And so he is going to head back towards that bottom side of the map. Stabilization working well for T1 after the back in the game.
Still possible. Oh, yeah. Vanguard's Edge, finishing your item.
Well, Nard into the wall is bad news, as he's mini Nard now, so Anna will see whether he can get this. Does manage to find it. Vanguard's Edge comes through, and that's going to be the solo kill in return. Manages to clean up all the minions to get that health back. Also, great flash out from Canna, but the Rampage says no. But now Pyosik may have overextended. Gold card is prepped. The bear slap is there, and I think the horse not going to be able to find safety here. Wildcard's the last auto, and Faker picks that one up. This is how this top lane's supposed to go.
That's an applause play right there from Canna, because plays around the map, continuously applying pressure. And now Canna's going to feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, and Faker is starting to feel comfortable up here on the top side as well. He'll need another gold card, I think, but he'll find it. As there's the ward, goes straight over. Control ward's there, but it's not going to help out, as Canna's going to get Nard back, and now Kingan's forced to walk the wrong direction. No flash available. Faker with a gold card prepped. Feeling like we're just waiting for the inevitable right now, as wildcards are going to miss. Pyosik trying to get into position. Solka's moving on up though. Command Protect is going to be there, and now Pyosik's looking for it. 3 versus 2. Faker flashes out immediately. Canna, can he escape is going to be the question, as looks like he thinks that he's going to have to give up for the ghost. And yeah, dashing around, but not going to be able to do it. Dissonance going to be able to tidy that one up.
And even for a single moment, the power of pure team fighting that is available for DRX.
Oh, straight up. This is
straight up.
Very, very front-to-back friendly. And we know that the ease of execution for compositions like this is T1 are actually primed for a fight right here, as Bao getting chunked a little bit by a Mystic Shot or two there by Teddy, who is definitely in fighting form right now. 80 carry difference is going to be huge in this potential fight, as Teddy finding more Mystic Shots. Solka and Bao in a little bit of trouble here, as Pyosik, can he actually win this 50-50 is the question. Bao has to get completely out of this fight, and Pyosik will be able to deny the Rift Herald. I don't think they'll be able to get the eye, but the Herald should definitely go over to them, as Faker turns up, and Bao, yeah mate, you saw the eye above your head. Oh, it's a little bit unfortunate. Faker was in range to jump on top of him, even goes golden to avoid the shockwave. As now Teddy's looking for even more. Oh my goodness, the Everfrost positioning was fantastic, and Teddy locks down the kill onto the Gnar as well. The T1 snowball is well and truly heading down this mountain.
And this is a T1 we wanted to see last game but didn't, Atlas. It's not, even though there's 10 people involved, it's not an actual 5v5, and that creates the space that T1 needs. Surely it's a nice fight from Pyosik. He had a 1 level, they just stick together. Look at, oh my god, Bao's damage compared to Teddy's. That is...
I mean, Carrier's damage compared to everyone is actually pretty impressive as well. Shockwave lands onto absolutely no one. Solka is going to be dead for it as the Onslaught of Shadows comes in. Beautiful answering heroic entrance, and that will deny any sort of re-engage here from DRX. Teddy finally moves on over, so T1 actually winning out in that little skirmish without their extraordinarily fed AD carry.
As you pointed out, Teddy wasn't there. And you still have the power of this Twisted Fate that has gotten fed through the Global Gold. Drake getting started up. I don't want them to flip this. There's an advantage for Pyosik here, although he can't quite get...
No, he can't get over the wall. He literally can't get over the wall. There's no way for him to get in. So this is just free. He watches it go down, but like looking at that flash button being like, where did it go?
I was waiting for the blast death sentence, or Carrier augments any of the other ones. At least you're not also playing into Hackram. That will make it worse.
Well, here's another one. Destiny comes through. It's onto Pyosik. Try and deny him his backline access. Flash out from Faker. Certainly trading ulti for flash. Good for Pyosik as Solka. Oh, these true shot barrages are so scary. However, that one not going to quite hit the mark. 17 seconds on this Mountain Soul. Sorry, point to come through for T1 if they would like it, and they do have a lot of vision. That being said, DRX still with some vision in the area, but this is exactly what this side lane composition can do, right? T1 with their Baron looking to push through the base. They'll take down the mid lane inhibitor very comfortably. Kingan sitting at half health. They're looking potentially for Canna, who does manage to get himself a stun. In goes Carrier, but he's denied for the moment. But now Canna's just bouncing around this fight. Becca, the unbreakable will's looking pretty breakable, and it's another ulti miss there from Solka. And T1 will now be able to transition into multiple inhibitors. Now able to move back, get themselves a Drake if they would like it. But they still have a minute left on this Baron.
This is the T1 everyone was expecting today, Atlas. This is why we were expecting 3 zeros.
Yeah.
And this is the T1 we actually is a big important point of growth. Yeah, that. No.
That's 3 items before there's 2.
Yes.
Make that problematic. What you will, everyone.
It's still possible, technically, but we're getting to the realm of possibilities as opposed to realistic angles to win the game.
Yeah, this is the problem, right? T1's composition has done exactly what it needs to do. It's moved now to an 8,000 gold lead, and it's the weight of the wallets right now. Moving towards 25 minutes, and Pyosik is desperately trying to find a team fight that they're looking for. Everfrost, his fantastic heroic entrance has been so good this game as well, as Shockwave lands onto 1 tank. And it is going to be Tristana managing to take down Faker here. Teddy goes golden as everyone tries to collapse. This could be the team fight they're looking for. A double kill already for the Trista's Bow is untouched right now. And T1, they need to get the heck out of here. The resets are starting to come through. Here's another one as Kingen gives it over to Bow. And Cuz and Canna, you need to escape. There are super minions that are getting work done, but I feel like I've been caster cursing a lot.
But these summoners being down might actually influence the next Drake fight. ST1, I don't even think you want to risk it for the Baron.
Full carrier caught out of position here, unfortunately. 1 versus 4. Don't like those odds. And this is DRX finding a few opportunities, finding a few moments. This is how they won so many games.
T1, as the Baron might get started up here.
Yep. Destiny is going to give them all the information. True Shot Barrage, massively high value. They're looking to see whether they can burst this one down. Destiny gets Faker into position. T1. This is a 5v5 that can be very difficult, but they still have a lot more gold, and Teddy is huge. Can they do it is the question. They're trying to get these Winds of War in, and now the turn does come through. Teddy's a long way away from this fight as Kingen just getting fought, and they can't just split up and fight 1v1 like this. As Pyosik comes in, Canna immediately goes golden. Another whiff Shockwave as Cuz gets into that backline. And look at these health bars, they're so low. As Carrier looks for the Justice Punch, doesn't quite find it. Exhaust is down, Bow is going to get murdered. Faker through with the gold card. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And DRX, they went for the Hail Mary Baron and they were punished.
And it is the teleport into the base, but the inhibitors respawn. Pyosik keeps on running here.
Oh, but that is an angry bees, like you going for a running race with me, my friend. As Chilling Smite comes up and Cuz says, absolutely, I'm not even gonna boop you. I'm gonna run past and pick up the kill. In the meantime, though, Faker is all business, and T1 will get to match point in their first playoffs match for 2021 spring.
And this is the type of series, or the games that we expected to see moving up, because playing Varus into Rakan, Volibear, is not fun. And you don't have a Fresh, you don't have a Tom Kench, you have a Leona. Teddy's going to say goodbye as he Zenith Blade.
Probably going to be doing the same thing as well on the other side whenever he would like to.
He doesn't even need to teleport yet, just the level advantage and just the control he has at the moment is enough to zone away Canna, who will be getting a relevant Drake this game as well, which is very...
Now Cuz finds Pyosik inside his jungle, as Faker once again not going to find the bubble. Shockwave comes down this time as the Ignite is actually utilized very early. Meanwhile, a fight on the top side of the map as well. Onslaught of Shadows comes down. Canna from over the wall, and the execution is absolutely perfect to get the first blood for the Akali. So necessary, as well as now Kingen in some trouble. But he should be all right as Faker lands that bubble, actually flashes on top of him, picks up the barrier, as well as now Sulker's the one that has to run. The flash over, Faker finds the solo kill, but it's answered in the end as well.
It's action all over the map, bot lane. The barrier, unfortunately, doesn't really get as much value from the second flash, still in the middle of a minion wave.
Well, Cuz gonna save Faker here in the mid lane as well. In this lane, as you can see.
Herald is a really big one. Both teams are collapsing.
Yep, in they go. There's Carrier flashing on forward. Onslaught of Shadows comes down, and Sulker completely removed from the fight. Finds a couple with the Shockwave, but he is too far out of position. The rest of DRX say, well, I guess we'll take a consolation blue buff and hope things are going to be okay. Chains of Corruption land onto Becca. Quickness utilized. He will get himself out of the way. So T1 winning out on this one.
And it's not end of the world. Again, The wombo combo is insane. Might find a kill here.
Yeah, we're looking for it. Piosik's going to dive on top of Carrier right now, keeping himself alive for a while, but the exhaust is going to be put down. Solar Flare comes through as well. They trade 1 for 1, and now Teddy's looking for more. The teleport coming through to help out. And there's a horse down here at the same time. Piercing Arrow will connect. The Rampage just has a drive-by, and now Faker gets to come on through, throw down all those summoners with the W, and T1 will mop it up.
And DRX looks just
it's gross.
Disgusting. And this is the power spike that you're looking for. Getting a couple of kills this early is really nice, as Cuz says, that's fine. I'll tank the turret, no problem whatsoever. Bow, there's no amount of, doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
Because there are Fremont coming, and you're fed, but you don't have Meganar, and there's a lot of damage available.
Yep, and now he's going to be put into the blender. Scanner gets underneath the turret, and you don't even need perfect execution to lock that one down. Just too many strong members on T1's side. Sulker is going to come on forward. Watch out for the orb. Let's see whether the shockwave is going to connect. Scanner's got a blast cone there and will utilize it in order to create enough space. Now Carrier, possibly out of position, but Pyosik is going to be distracted by a Rift Scuttler, and Faker is going to finish off the outer turret in the mid lane.
It's the best turret to go down for Zoe, because now all of a sudden the mid lane is dangerous territory.
Oh, speaking of which, Faker looking for it onto Sulker here. Prowler's Claw comes out as well. Shockwave does find 2 this time. Faker has to flash to get himself out. He waits, has the blast going. The dissonance isn't enough damage. But that is definitely a very...
the exception being Kana, who's had a bit more rough as the steal attempt comes through.
And Pyosik just has to leave. Cuz says thanks for the leash, and that's just the state of the jungle at this point in time. Unfortunate.
Start making plays like this. They don't have cryo, they don't have the vision, they don't have the setup.
Oh, can Keenan find it again? Kana is able to get that backflip to get him out of the way, and now it decides to go back in. There's a perfect execution. Locks it down. Turns it straight onto the face of Kingen. However, he's still going to fall down. Pyosik does have the ulti button, presses it, and says that is definitely the Noguri moment.
But
100% agree.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Bow, remember that cleanse from before? Now the flash is down. Solar Flare comes through. There's a lot of CC available here. Grand entrance, that's pretty cool, but I think Faker can actually survive this pretty comfortably, and now Becca has to escape. Sulker going to move on down. He's been putting out fires this entire game. Now they're just zoning DRX away from this situation. 4 versus 2. Pyosik is on the top side. The turret's ready to fall across the map here on T1's side. The map control coming out yet again. This has certainly been their strength throughout this series.
And coming into this game, we talked about T1
from the Paddle Star, but will remain alive, and T1 also going to get out of there. Okay, Pyosik now should be able to find Teddy. The flash comes through, but the stun is going to be there. Pyosik ohm wrecks the turret, and Bao will survive in the end. The last auto will be denied. And the more T1 split DRX up, the more difficult it's going to be for DRX. They don't have the health bars to challenge this. And is this... It's just Infernal Soul stolen away. The backs are even stopped. Sulker is in trouble. He does find a defensive shockwave. No! Flashes his way out, and he survives. Somehow they trade supports. That's not the target that they were looking for, so definitely a sick play is now Kana. Off to the side, he's looking for Kingen. Kingen ults his way through and then gets back to the Shuriken. Not able to lock that one down. But T1 now have just so much more value in this composition. The Infernal Soul is so strong, but DRX demonstrating that they have still got fight left in him.
Oh, that's a big teleport. Kingen, if he can get his Narbar.
Yeah, it's in a pretty good position right now, but you can see Cuz just going to try and execute Bao. Bao, he's out of this fight, burning down with the red buff as Faker locks down Kingen as well. Cuz is fighting 1 versus 3, by the way, and this is why DRX needed to try and go for that reset. They had their back stopped, and Cuz says absolutely not, my friend. And now Pyosik at the mercy of T1. The huge piercing arrow is going to connect and connect again, as Beck is now in so much trouble. He has to get back to his fountain, and T1.
Again, it's a worst case scenario, because it means that no matter what you do, unless you straight up win the fight right from the get-go, you can't match the damage, you can't match the elongated fights.
Yeah.
In a very different way than an Ocean Soul does, but still just as debilitating. And Mouth, here goes the Baron, and sieging with this composition and an Infernal Soul is a night. Yeah, Infernal Soul,
pretty revolting. As we're going to have a look at live here, Carrier looking for Kingen. He'll find it. Oh my god, Teddy, that damage is ridiculous. And the Gnar is very, very dead, just not able to be pushed
at
up.
the mercy of T1, And unlike game number 1, where it felt like DRX always had the angle, but T1 just mechanically outmuscled them. And game number 2, where clearly DRX were the better team.
Inhibitor in that mid lane, True Shot Barrage just to try and help with these minions, but with the Baron buff, it's so difficult. Chains of Corruption go to Narnia, but it's not even, I think, actually going to be relevant, to be perfectly honest. Because trying to find an opening does have everything available, and he's just going to settle for locking up this inhibitor. Solar Flare comes out now as Becca. Now with the quickness, in goes Carrier, goes Golden as well. Look at the AoE, it's revolting! Bao will just get tidied up by this horse. The perfect execution to get right on top of all these carries. It's a very, very quick ace. You blink and you'll miss it, and T1 are in round 2 of the playoffs.
And it was a valiant effort from DRX. I still insist that they played better than any of us had expected. This team was slumping, they gave it their all, they showed what they were made of, but it's a deserved win for T1 that